Hi, welcome to studying naive forecasting. I think you'll see that the word naive is a good fit for this. In fact, I will have included this Excel file into the course material, and the tab is naive. And what it will show is the arithmetic that we do to get to a forecast. Now, notice that we have 16 weeks worth of historical data on the number of patients being admitted to this hypothetical hospital. And I'm going to use this 15 weeks of information to get myself down to a forecast for week 16. Now, using a naive forecast, this is not really necessary, right? The naive forecast says I'm going to forecast in time period 16 what the actual demand was in period 15. So my naive forecast is going to be 110 for week 16. However, later we are going to develop measurements that show how good a fit is, and a measure of how good a fit is requires that we also forecast data points within the data that already exists. This won't be obvious in this series of videos, but it will become obvious later. So the naive forecast says, when I am making my forecast in time period 1 for time period 2, my forecast is going to be whatever actual demand was the prior period. Okay? Now, in order for me to think this through and how am I going to get a forecast for every time period within my historical data, not too difficult with a naive forecast, right? In time period 2, I would make a forecast for time period 3, and it would be equal to my actual demand in time period 2. Now, if you think about it, pushing F2 so you can see what we did, in C3, we just have what was in B2. In C4, we have what was in B3. Well, I can just copy this. Right? It's not going to be difficult to get these forecasts. So push F2 and just see that my forecast for time period 3 is just actual demand in time period 2. In time period 3, my forecast for time period 4 is just the actual demand in time period 3. Lots of tongue twists in there with the subscripts. Next forecast. My forecast for time period 5 is just the actual demand from time period 4. And I can go all the way down just to make sure that it copied correctly. Although I have enough confidence in Excel to have done it right, I just don't necessarily have enough confidence in myself to know that it's right. So this process is referred to as the naive forecast. And it really does say that the forecast in time period t plus 1 is just equal to what actually happened in the prior time period. And that's how we would write it. All right, we will move on next time to something a little more rigorous. Oh, pictures. Frequently, we like to see pictures of these scatter plots. And so Excel will generate these pictures for us. All I have to do is highlight the data, including the forecast. Go to Insert, Charts. I want this scatter chart. Now let's connect them by a line. There. There's my naive forecast. Try to spell that. There we go. Number of patients and the forecast number of patients. Things to notice. Eventually, the vertical distance between dots is going to be referred to as the error or a deviation, same word for the two different words for the same thing. Notice my forecast is always wrong, which is what we expect anyway. And really, if I could pick up this blue curve and just slide it over one time period, it would fall right on top of this rust-colored curve. So there you go, naive forecasting methods.